Okay, so you need to have your whiteboard and your marker ready to go. I'm going to share my screen. Yes. All right, here we go, as it's loading. Okay, so your first question was, and I think this was probably the hardest one for you guys, okay, and that's okay. So let's go through. So it says, what is the least whole number? So I'm gonna get my little writing guy ready. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Okay, so the least whole number, so right, that's important. The least whole number that rounds to 400 when rounded to the nearest 100. Okay, so let's start there. So I'm looking for the least whole number that rounds to 400 when rounded to the nearest 100. Okay, so let's think about that. I'm looking for a number that is going to round to the nearest 100. Okay, so what numbers, what 200s does it need to be between to round to 400? Somebody tell me, and you guys can unmute yourself, or I'll call on someone. Who can tell me? Make sure, friends, that if you had books out, that you put your books away. Okay, we are focused on our screen now, so we shouldn't be reading. All right, Marcella, what 200s are they going to be between? Oh, sorry, try again.
400 and 500.
So 400's right, okay, but not 500 because we are looking for, oh, actually, hold on. We're looking for the least. So we're going to want to go one lower than 400, okay? So this time we're going to go 300, right? Now there are numbers that with 500 could round to 400, right? But we're looking for least. So this time we're going to go smaller. So we know it's going to be between 300 and 400, right? So now I have to think, what is that halfway point between 300 and 400? Aditri?
200?
Nope, I'm looking for the halfway point between 300 and 400. Who thinks they know? Think about that halfway. Evan? 350. Good job, Evan. So I'm going to write that. I'm going to actually erase the 300 because we know that it needs to be greater than 350. Okay? Now, let's just look at the number 350. And I'm rounding it to the nearest 100. So if I look at the 3, I look next door, and we have a 5. So is that 5 and greater or less than 5? Actually, just show me. If I have a 5, are we going to round up or are we going to round down? Let me see thumbs. It's a 5. So do we round up or down? Good, I see Evan's thumb. I need to see other people's thumbs. Are we going to round up or down? Thank you, Zelda. I need to see thumbs. Thank you, Aria. Waiting to see people's thumbs. Thanks, Nayeli. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Aditri, Taylani, Daniela, Jasnor. Good. Olivia, good. Okay, I saw most of you guys put your thumb up. Taylani, good. And we are rounding up, right? Because it's greater. It's 5 or greater. So if we round up, we're going to add 1 to this. What's 1 more than 3? Who wants to tell me that? 1 more than 3. Oh, I'm seeing Evan show me. Nayeli, what do you think? What's 1 more than 3?
4.
4. So if I took this number, it'd become 400. So would that round to 400 then? It would, right? And then just to double check, let's take the number 349. Let's just go 1 smaller. And let's try and round 349. Okay, so same thing to the nearest 100. I have my 3. I'm going to look next door. 4. Is that greater than 5 or less than 5? Show me with your thumb. Greater than 5 or less than 5? I'm looking good. I see Natalie saying less. Aria's saying less. Taylani and Olivia and Aditri and Jasnora are green. Good. I'm seeing lots of you saying less. So that means our 3 is going to stay the same, right? So then will it round to 400? Mm-mm. So that means our greatest number that can, or our least number, oops, I gotta get this right. Okay, so our least number, which I'd put in here, would be 350. Okay? And you guys aren't writing this down right now, you're just following along with me. Okay, I'll tell you when it's time to write something. Okay, so our least number is 350. Then it says, what is the greatest whole number that rounds to 400 when rounded to the nearest 100? Okay, so now we're gonna go to what Marcelo said first, okay? So now I could say a number between 400, here's my draw, sorry, between 400 and 500. And let's check again, what is that halfway point between 400 and 500? So think of it this way, if the halfway point between 300 and 400 was 350, what's the halfway point between 400 and 500? Someone with a hand tell me. I might call on someone. Taylani.
450.
450. Good job. So I'm going to write that. And come on. There we go. So we've got 450. But this time we're looking for the greatest number that's going to round down to 400. So that means it's not going to be a 5. So it's going to be somewhere between 400 and 450. Right? So let's just start with that 450. If we're rounding to the nearest 100, we're going to look at the 5. That 5 rounds it up, right? So it would turn the 4 to a 5. So it can't be 450. Okay. So here it goes. But what if we tried 449? So that 1 less again. Okay, we're going to look at the 4, look next door. 4, is that greater than 5 or less than 5? Let me see your thumbs. 4 greater than 5 or less than 5? Good, I'm seeing some thumbs down. Good. Good, it's less than 5. So that means that 4 is going to stay the same and the rest 0 their name. So that means this would become a 0 and this would become a 0. So does that round to 400? So that means the greatest number that would round to 400 would be 449. Okay. So this was a tricky one, okay? I will give you that. And then we're gonna move on to the next one. Here we go. So it says, what 2 tens does 728 fall between? Somebody tell me what you think. What 2 tens? Zelda.
720 and 730.
Good, 720 and 730. Here's the really important part in that. What 2 tens, right? So you're looking at the numbers in tens place. That part's really important. Okay, you always want to be looking for what you're doing. Is it tens or hundreds? All right, and we're gonna move on to number 3. Here we go. What is 553 rounded to the nearest 100? Okay, 553 rounded to the nearest 100. Okay, I want everybody to write this on their whiteboard. Okay, I want to do this together. So everyone write this on your whiteboard. You're gonna write 500, we're gonna make that look better. 553. Yes, Cameron. Hopefully you can unmute Cameron. Looks like you froze on my end. All right. Oh, might need to come back to Cameron because you look a little frozen on my end. Oh, now I hear you. Cameron, you might need to turn your camera off so I can hear you. Okay, Cameron, you might have to type your question because I can't hear you. We're having some connection issues there. So type your question to me, Cameron, and I'll answer it. Okay, so we've got 553. Somebody tell me what number is in the hundreds place? What number is in the hundreds place? You know what? I think I'm gonna actually, Daniela. What number is in the hundreds place?
5.
5. Then I'm gonna look next door and I've got a 5. So if it's a 5, round up, round down. Let me see everybody. It's a 5, so do we round up or do we round down? I need to see everyone's thumbs. So Cayman, Natalie, Bentley, Zelda. Oh, good job, Zelda. What do we think? Good, Natalie, good, Cayman. Rounding up or down? William, showing me your thumb. I see, good, Jesnor. All right, guys, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. Good, so that means we're gonna round up. So that means we add 1 to the 5. What's 1 more than 5? Somebody tell me. Let's see, Daniela, what's 1 more than 5?
6.
And then we zero the numbers behind it. So that means this becomes a 6, this becomes a 0, this becomes a 0. So your answer should have been 600. All right, moving on to number 4. So if you wrote that last one on your whiteboard, erase it. And here we go. So it says, which numbers are rounded correctly? Choose all the correct answers. So how about this time, instead of writing on the whiteboard, I want somebody to tell me, actually, you know what? I want you guys to show me on your thumbs. Thumbs up means you think it's correct. Thumbs down mean you think it's incorrect. Okay, our first one. 487 rounded to the nearest 10 is 490. Do you think that's right or no? If you don't know, put your thumb in the middle. It's okay to not know. All right, let me check my next screen. Good, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. Okay, good, that is correct. Because remember, we'd look at the 4, or the 8, sorry. Look at the 7. 7 is greater than 5. Add 1 to the 8 and get 9, 490. Okay, next one, the number 951, rounded to the nearest 100 is 900. Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree, thumbs in the middle if you're not sure. But I should see everybody's thumbs. Agree, I'm not sure, disagree. Good. I'm seeing thumbs down. Awesome, should be thumbs down, right? Because you look at the, actually this time let's look, it's between 900 and 1,000. 951 is closer to 1,000. All right, next one. The number 664 rounded to the nearest 100 is 660. So we're rounding to the nearest 100. 100. So is the nearest 100 660? Agree? I'm not sure. Disagree? This one's trying to trick you, so we might need to do this one. I'm seeing some down. I'm seeing some to the side. So let's go ahead and do this one, okay? So the number is 664. Rounding to the nearest 100, so let's see. William, what number's in the hundreds place?
That's in the hundreds place.
Yep.
600.
So it's 600, which means the 6. Good, thank you, William. And we're gonna look at the number next door, which is a 6. Is 6 greater than 5 or less than 5, Isaiah?
6 is greater than 5.
It's greater than 5, so that means we add one more to the 6. And Cameron, what's one more than 6? Let's see if our connection's back.
7.
7. Good. So that means we're going to round by doing 7. These numbers become zeros. So is it 660? No, 700. Okay. All right, here we go. The number 375 rounded to the nearest 10 is 370. Agree? Yes? No? Not sure. I should see thumbs. We're almost through this, guys. I'm seeing disagree, not sure. Seeing some disagrees and some not sure's. Okay, so let's do this one too. Here we go. We've got 375 and we're rounding to the nearest 10. So this time, Taylani, what number's in the tens place?
1.
1, okay. All right, hold on, I'm seeing some people saying they can't see. Oops, hang on a second. If you're having trouble either hearing or seeing me, try turning your camera off. Okay, that sometimes helps. I'm gonna stop my share real quick and then I'm gonna start it again. See if that helps. All right, so we're back to this one and I'm gonna go back to having Taylani help me. So it's 375. All right, so Taylani, tell me again what number is in the tens place?
7.
And we're gonna look next door at the 5. So if it's a 5, let's see, Sophia, if it's a 5, are we gonna go up or let it rest?
Go up.
Good, so the 7 would become an 8. Oh, sorry, my screens are moving here. And then that number in the front stays the same. We decided this would become an 8, and then the number in the back zeroes its name. So is 375 rounded to the nearest 10, 370? Nope. All right, last one on this one. Here we go. 145 rounded to the nearest 100 is 100. Agree? Disagree? I don't know. I need to see everybody's thumbs. I agree that it's 100. I disagree that it's 100. I'm not sure if it's 100. Some thumbs to the side. Some thumbs up. And okay, so this one, so we can move on to the next one. It is 100. So that's our next one we're gonna click. Okay. All right, last question. I think some of you missed this one just purely because you didn't understand how to do the question. Okay, but you needed to fill in each of these. Okay, so it says fill in the table to round each number. Use the number pad to enter your answers in the boxes. Okay, so let's do our nearest 10. 691 to the nearest 10. Who thinks they can tell me the answer? 691 to the nearest 10. Taylani, what do you think?
690.
Good, 690. Oops. Okay, now this time we're gonna go to the nearest 100. Who can tell me to the nearest 100? Might have to call on some people randomly. I'm gonna go to, let's see, Hannah. 691 to the nearest 100.
700.
Good job, 700. Okay. All right, next one. 80 to the nearest 10. 80 to the nearest 10. Let's try Bryce. What do you think, Bryce? To the nearest 10, 80.
80 to the nearest 10 is 70.
So actually, since it's already a 10, right? It's actually gonna just stay the same.
80.
That one's trying to trick you. That was a tricky one, but it stays the same. It stays to 80. Okay. All right. Then how about to the nearest 100? What do we think? To the nearest 100. Sandro, 80 to the nearest 100.
What to the nearest 100?
80. 80.
That would be 100.
Good job. 100. Awesome. Next one we've got 743 to the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. Sophia.
740.
740. Good. And then now to the nearest 100. 743 to the nearest 100. William, what do you think?
700.
700. All right. Good job, guys. You go, and then we hit submit. Oh, does it not let me? Okay, I can't hit submit because I'm just previewing it. But we did those all. We did them right. And that was a lot of math listening. So